we will call to order our February 14th regular scheduled meeting, which also is Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to everyone, and thank you for joining us on this special day. Roll call, please.
Mr. Atway, President.
Here.
Mrs. DeCapua, Vice President. Here. Dr. Alquist. Here. Mr. Campbell.
Here.
Mr. DeMilo.
Here.
If you guys would please stand to pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first up, we will defer to our superintendent for the superintendent's update, and I think we're going to kind of get out of the way and sit in the front.
All right, thank you. All right, so Mr. Atway, got everybody started. Welcome to those of you in person, those of you joining us online. We appreciate always joining us, and happy Valentine's Day. And I'm going to give a shout out to my wife, okay? Got to try to make some deposits here, so hopefully my wife Jennifer is watching or listening at home. We love you and appreciate you. And on behalf of my administrators, I'm going to help you guys out too, all right? To their spouses. This job is very demanding, takes a lot of time, and we really appreciate our spouses and their support every day, allowing us to do what we love to do. So, men, I set the table for you, so you take it from there, all right? So, I want to start with our district theme this year, Positively Canfield. We're halfway through the year, so now's kind of a good time just to reflect a little bit on how are we doing this year. These themes aren't just cliches. They're purposeful. They come with a lot of thought and meaning. And, one thing I've learned is you'll find what you're looking for. And this year, we're looking for positive things in Canfield. So we're going to spend some time talking a little bit about what that looks like. So, first of all, last week was Counselor Appreciation Week. Mr. Capua, do you want to make your way over to the mic, if you don't mind, and grab your resolution? So last week, we celebrated these 5 gals. The role of a counselor has changed so much in the last 4 or 5 years. In my 35 years of doing this work, so much more is asked of them. But these 5 ladies right here have done a fantastic job in the district. And to me, I've said this before, it's all about making connections. And that's one of the great things that these ladies do. So we have a special proclamation for them tonight. Mr. Capua.
Thank you. Canfield Local School District proclamation to recognize our school counselors as of February 14th, 2024. Whereas school counselors are employed in public and private schools to help students reach their full potential. And whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as these traits relate to career awareness and development. And whereas school counselors help parents focus on the ways to further the educational, personal, and social growth of their children. And whereas school counselors work with teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves. And whereas the school counselors seek to identify and utilize community resources that can enhance and complement comprehensive school counseling programs and help students become productive members of society. And whereas comprehensive developmental school counseling programs are considered an integral part of the educational process that enables all students to achieve success in school. Therefore, Mr. Knoll does hereby proclaim February 5th through the 9th, 2024 as National School Counseling Week.
Thank you, Mr. Capua. Now, you've heard me talk before. I've talked a lot about the heartening piece and the hardening piece. These ladies here are the heartening piece to the T. Now, tomorrow, we're going to celebrate the hardening piece, all right? These guys have some love, don't get me wrong, all right, but as you can see, just being from the Canfield Police Department, they bring that hardening piece to the district. Tomorrow is SRO Appreciation Day. And as you know, we added a 3rd officer this year, Officer Soroka, you can see there right to the left, for our elementary piece. And these gentlemen have done a great job, as always, and we thank the Canfield PD and these 3 gentlemen for their body of work. So we're going to officially celebrate them tomorrow. Another example of Positively Canfield. Speaking of that, Positively Canfield topic, we had a great event here a couple weeks ago, one of my favorite events of the year, and it was Military Appreciation Night. And you can see some pictures here. You got yours truly up there, top center. Mr. DeMilo, wherever he ended up here in the front, joined me. Also, thank you, Steve, for joining me on the floor. He and a couple of the students were holding up our Purple Star recognition, which we're really proud of with our high school and middle school. You can see our choir to the left, and our pep band was there. At the bottom left, you can see Mr. Kerensky, one of our teachers, and in the middle there, Mr. Cooper, our athletic director. We took some time to honor them, and this was my favorite picture of the night. Every basketball player and cheerleader had somebody, either a family member or a special person that they knew or was related to them in some way, bring them down on the court, talk about them and their branch of service. And it was a great night. And I talk a lot about having teachable moments as a superintendent. I don't always have a lot, but this is one. I really want our kids to know and appreciate those folks that have served in the military and their families, okay, because that sacrifice is important as well. So we had an awesome evening that night. I want to thank the Booster Club, the Basketball Booster Club. They've taken my vision of this night and just multiplied it by 100. And we'll continue to do this for years to come. Great event. I know some of you question my social media skills, and you shouldn't do that anymore. See, I'm getting better. I'm showing some growth. Did you know every Monday morning, some of you are shaking your heads, and I appreciate you following me. If you're watching me on Instagram or Twitter, you see this. Every Monday morning, I post something for our Cardinals talking about some type of positive thought for the week. If you're not out there, connect with me. All right, Instagram, Twitter. I'll put a little plug out there. But to me, this just made so much sense this year with the Positively Canfield theme. Want to put something positive in our kids' minds to start out every week. So check me out if you aren't there yet. Here's something else that's breaking news. Buckeye Girls State, great activity. Great week. I think they're still going back to my neck of the woods over at Mon Union, actually, for that activity. You count the girls that we have there? We have 4 of them. They only took 5 out of Mahoning County. That's pretty impressive. Okay, so we got 4 out of the 5 right there. And these ladies are going to have a great time. They're great, great gals, but really proud of that. Buckeye Girls State. Here's our Power of the Pen team over at the middle school. Mr. Rubin reported that these folks took first place the other day in their competition. All right, Power of the Pen. This is one of my favorites right here, okay? The Kindness Club. This is new and improved this year, but another great example of Positively Canfield. We have 2 gals kind of helping us out with that, Miss Tokash, Miss Hawkinsmith. These kiddos over at CH got to school an hour early. I get there, they're already in there. They'd miss be an hour before school, and they're cutting things out and making these real cool fleece blankets to give to the puppies in need. It was a great morning, and very proud of this. Like I said, this is brand new this year, but boy, these kids are loving it, having a great time, in a really cool community service project. Challenge 24 Club is brand new this year as well. Mrs. Muno is in charge of this over at the middle school. This is right up my alley. This is a math game, okay? You have a card there. You get a bunch of numbers. You got to get to 24. You can add, you can subtract, multiply, divide. But you got to do it real quick because it's a quick competition. These kids had a competition, tore it up. Okay, I think it was over Campbell Schools a couple weeks ago. This competition's coming to Canfield in early March. And I told Miss Muno we're taking no prisoners. See, we're going to have no mercy on anybody. We're going to get them. But love this thing. Once again, just making connections with kids and giving them something to do. You can see the smiles. You can see the kids. You can see the trophies, all kinds of first place, all kinds of great things going on there. Now, I mentioned that Kindness Club and that 24 Club for this reason. Those endeavors were funded through this innovation fund. I started this back in 2021 when I came to Canfield, and basically it allows any staff member to write a grant and get money to do cool things that maybe we don't have in the budget. And those two things I just mentioned were funded, $1,500 to do that. Well, we're going to unleash our fundraiser here. Same as last year, it's an online auction. And if you're a community member, here's what we need. You can give money to it, which we always appreciate, or you can donate an activity, like tickets to an event, or maybe come get 18 holes of golf, or maybe passes to the movies, pizzas, whatever you have and want to donate to the cause, we'll take. And then what we do is we put this online and we auction it off, and it goes to the highest bidder. Okay, so more information's coming, but this is my first shot across the bow here tonight. Let everybody know it's coming. The experience is going to be April the 15th through the 25th, and you just, like I said, you go online and you just bid on things that interest you. The staff can do a whole bunch of cool things with activities as well. I'll put my name in there, and you could be superintendent with me for today, okay, for a high price. I know Dr. Alquist is saying at least $100 to be superintendent, and I will concur with that. But whatever it ends up being, we'll have a lot of fun. Last year was awesome. We raised $20,000 through this fundraiser, and we handed out $17,000 the first day of school of grant money to do cool things. So really looking forward to this. Keep your eyes. I'll be posting social media, webpage, all that good stuff. One of the great things about Canfield, and I've shared this, we're like a three-legged stool. I talked about the academics already, some of the cool things we're doing, but we have athletics and you have the arts. And that's what makes Canfield powerful, that three-legged stool. Here's some athletic updates. So let me take you to the far left and far right. That's our girls basketball team. The bottom right is our boys team. We just won the Battle of 224 last week. Varsity girls and boys won both their games against Poland. It was awesome. The bottom left is our 8th grade girls. They won the league championship, regular season and tournament. Bottom in the middle there is Coach Rio. We gave him a celebratory basketball for his 200th career win as a coach. Now, at that top right, I can neither confirm or deny this next comment I'm going to make, but I'm going to make it anyway. For the first time in the history of the Canfield schools, our girls swimming team were sectional champs. First time. And they continue on to swim. And I think, Doc, where are we at? Cleveland State? Going to Cleveland State this weekend, but awesome from athletics during this winter season. So here's the art piece of Canfield. I got an email from Mr. Hoops. These 10 individuals on the screen won 19 awards in the Scholastic Art Competition. You can see Jason Lorne won top honors, okay? And I tell you, if you don't know much about Canfield, you should know that we're awesome in this art stuff. We do some great things with our kids when it comes to the arts. So let me shift some gears here. Important dates coming up. Tomorrow night's conference night across the district. All right, you can see the times there with our middle school and high school, 3 to 9, elementary 3:30, 9:30. And then we're going to get a little winter break. All right, so we get Friday off, and then Monday, which is President's Day, and then we'll come back on Tuesday ready to roll after our midwinter break. Also tonight, I have on the agenda for the board to approve our school calendar. And children, I got bad news for you next year. Christmas is on Wednesday, which as a superintendent is the worst day because that means you get an extra long Christmas break. All right? So, like I said, when the board approves that, we'll get that on the website, make sure all that information gets out to you. But long story short, the calendar is very similar to this year. Okay, not too many changes. All right, so I'm going to wrap things up here just with a little facility update for everybody. I have some time frames on here. If the board decides to put something on the November ballot, there are some critical dates on here. The first one, that 120th day, if we need to do something called a special needs process based on funding and how much we're going to need to borrow, the board might need to make a move as early as July 8th officially. And you can see the other dates there as well. Just a real quick OFCC update. We will continue as an ELP district, which basically means we are so far down the line, we don't have any money coming any soon. We're jumping over people. Okay, basically is what an ELP district means. So if the board decides to move forward with something in November, that's fine. We'll still be an ELP district. But as I've said in the past, our current agreement expires before November of '24, which it is what it is. I don't know if that's good or bad, but the reality is we go back in the hopper, okay? We're going to get a new enrollment data, which we'll be working on. The cost set obviously is going to go up, okay, because we're a year out. We did go up 1% with our state share after the ranking. Remember, we used to be 16% state share, so now we're 17. But every September, that number switches as well. So that's just a real quick update there. I know this is hard to see. I don't expect you to read all that, but a couple important dates are this. June, if the board decides to do something in November, June is an important time frame for us to get resolutions on the agenda to get to the county auditor. And we had to do that twice, okay? So those are some of the big dates. And the reality is the OFCC will not bless our project until after it's passed in November, okay? Which is okay, but it will happen afterwards. So just a little more work on our part, but it's not an issue if it's put on November, and it would pass. So I'm going to ask the board maybe just to go ahead and make their way back up on the stage. Just a couple final things to wrap up before I turn it over to them. The updated property tax reappraisals are out, and obviously what we talked about months ago, the good news is just because your house went up 40% doesn't mean your property taxes went up 40%, and all of you saw that. I've heard and talked to some people where their property taxes actually went down, and that did happen in Canfield depending on where your home was. So that's good news. I know there was a lot of concern about that when we were going through the campaign, but that's what we have now, so that's good. One thing the board is going to have to decide if we move forward in November is what's the master plan going to be, okay? Doesn't need to be decided tonight, but as you saw by some of those dates, we don't have a lot of time. Another thing the board needs to talk about, and maybe we can chat about that real quick tonight, is do we want to do a facilities committee or just a levy committee? Remember last year at this time, we had a visiting session. We were having committee meetings. You know, do we want to bring that back or just move on? What's that look like? And then also about renovations, you know, depending on what type of project we pick, what type of renovations, how much money do we want to allow for those types of things. So I'll turn it over to the board now. If you guys just want to have a conversation about what your thoughts are on some of those talking points, I would appreciate that. And as always, I thank you all for your time. So board members, I'll turn it over to you.
Oh, there we go. Well, first of all, just thank you for your update, and actually, just I appreciate the Positively Canfield theme and the way you've been able to demonstrate the pull-through of that, so I appreciate it. In regards to the facilities committee and the planning and what's next steps, I see, first of all, several people from our levy committee that are in attendance, and I know that they are probably very eager to continue supporting the endeavor to try to get a project on the ballot in November. I'm from the school of thought that November would probably be our best option. I would have liked to have done it sooner in some capacity, but I know we were handcuffed with regards to just the reassessments being put in from an auditor's perspective and having concrete information in regards to taxes and what that was going to look like. You made a couple comments in regards to just what do we do from maybe creating another committee. I've been a part of it the past 2 years. And have been involved with the committees that we've involved the community and then come to, you know, an idea as to what we wanted to take to the voters. Personally, I think we've learned a lot those past 2 years, and I think we've gained a lot of insight that we can apply as a board to come to probably an alignment and an agreement as to what would be best to serve the community in November. So I'm from the school of reinventing that wheel and taking that labor-intensive process, because for those of you that don't realize, it's highly labor-intensive. It's all volunteer hours, and to replicate that again and potentially end up at the same point, I think would be not the most efficient use of our time. I would rather focus on taking what we've learned from the community and using the levy committee to get to a point of coming into an alignment as to what would be best from a ballot perspective. You know, and in regards to one of my key takeaways, and I'm not going to speak on behalf of the board, I'll wait for everybody else to comment, but what I've probably learned is clearly cost was the biggest factor and one of the biggest factors. And knowing that the middle school was probably the biggest piece from an alignment perspective, as I heard from the community, and people would stop me it was the priority project. So I can comfortably say that I think the middle school has to be our primary focus. I hate the fact that we might have to put the elementary schools, and I don't want to say put them aside, but I don't think we can do everything new in the fashion that we'd want to for an economical price. I mean, if we do that, it's going to probably be at the 100 million mark, and costs of goods have already gone up. So I think we're going to have to potentially look at putting good money at bad, meaning that we might have to fix some of our current structures, as well as looking at building a new middle school. Those are my 2 cents in regards to, and I'll build off of that, but I do think November needs to be our priority project. Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think obviously put it up twice with a larger plan, and it gained some ground last time. It still got shot down, and I think prioritizing the need there, like you said, Nader, and that being the middle school and select renovations at across the district and other schools, probably the way I would lean. I would also say I agree with you. I would lean November. As far as timeline, a lot to discuss between now and then. A lot of legwork to do as far as renovations, and I know Mr. Knoll, you probably could chime in. You've been dealing with a lot of this stuff recently, even, you know, prioritizing that with the maintenance department, getting a list of what renovations across the district outside of the middle school, prioritizing those, getting quotes, understanding where that money's going to be at, and starting to make some decisions there. So.
I would just also, I'm in agreement also. I think November would be wise. I too have participated in the last 2 rounds of the Facilities Planning Committee, and they are very time intensive, super educational, but I think whatever the last 2 years worth of lists of detrimental things of our buildings, not much has changed, maybe only gotten worse or added to. So I think that'd be a bit, I don't want to say futile, but just not the best use of time. But I also want to convey certainly to the public and community that even if we choose to not have the same traditional planning committee, that we are still very open to input, that the community can reach out at any time, and this is it's a group effort. And I think that we want to show that we have listened to the voters, so it can't have a $100 million price tag of any sort. So I think like half of that might be more, easier to palate to the voter. But yeah, I'm excited at some of the options we might come up with that can be closer to that.
And Dr. Alquist, I think you made a valid point. So I don't want the community to think that we wouldn't figure out a way to still involve some additional input, but I think from starting from the ground zero and building a process, I think we've gone through that route, so we can definitely tweak that opportunity of getting feedback after we've kind of funneled it down to what we think would be best suitable in the environments that we have and looking at the cost projections. So definitely.
Yeah, I would agree with everybody on what you've said already. It's extremely frustrating because I think everybody in the district knows that major renovations and major improvements need to be done. But what that looks like, and then once again, what is the price tag that it's going to likely pass? Is it 80 million, 50 million, 30 million? I mean, obviously we want to use money and take it as far as it will go to make those renovations happen at the current buildings, if that is what is chosen. I also agree the middle school is the place that I think we need, the priority focus of. I'm a little leery of trying to fit in that middle school of where the current middle school is. I personally would like to, entertain maybe another area, whether that's up where Hilltop is now and some type of K-8 building or K-5, K-6. I'm just thinking out loud. That all would come down to price tag and so forth. I just feel like it might be a little bit squished over, from the previous plan that we were talking about. And then obviously CH we need to get air conditioning in that. If that's not gonna get, you know, moved or combine elementaries. And I agree, I did not sit on the committee, but the time that was involved in that was unbelievable, and very thankful for those that did that. It'd be great to get more people in through the buildings and see. I appreciate everything Mr. Knoll has done over the years to try to make that happen. It just, there wasn't a very high participation rate, unfortunately. I don't know how we can improve that, but I think more people need to see the condition of the buildings, and I think it's most impactful when they actually walk through and see and talk to people. You know, it's easy to make decisions when you just see a price but don't see how extreme some of these buildings are. But those are my, I guess, 2 cents.
I don't have a lot to add. I am for putting it on the ballot in November. Also, you know, we don't want to reinvent the wheel, but one of the things that went so well with the last campaign, and I can't say enough to those involved, was the educational piece. As far as, I think the door-to-door was awesome, and I think that needs to even be taken one step further. We need more people to help with that, absolutely. But it was a good process. I also was not a fan of putting our middle school on the existing site, so, you know, maybe we look at a different location, or adding on or making new, and the renovations will have to come out of our levy money, because we need to do the renovations. We can't let our other schools deteriorate any further. So with that in mind, it's gonna be what the magic number is, and I think we will know more of that here in the next few months as to what we're looking at. So that's about what I have to say.
I think that the takeaway, Mr. Knoll, is figure out a way to get us everything we want for about $50 million.
I'm on it. I got my marching orders.
So,
I appreciate the board's input. Thank you. Yep.
all right. We will continue this discussion, obviously, I think in greater detail, but I think from an alignment perspective, we are probably at the point that November is going to be our target date, and we're just going to have to work hard to try to get us a plan that works to that. And so, again, to the levy committee, we're putting you on semi-notice to start to activate, because we need to recruit as many people to be involved with that process, and it would be great to have more people be involved, like this is the capital.
And as a board, we will entertain any thoughts anybody has or any suggestions, so please feel free to email us. Our email addresses are online.
Very good. Thank you. All right, now some fun stuff. Our Rotary Students of the Month. So we can start with our high school. Sorry, I'm going backward, Mr. Flood. Yes. Okay, we'll get Mr. Flood.
Sorry about the
No,
confusion.
no, you're
I
fine.
just, go.
It was listed here. I wasn't. I'm just programmed going
Yeah.
autopilot.
Rotary Student of the Month for Hilltop, Everett Calder. First of all, Mom and Dad, Victoria and Lex, huge part of Campfield Local Schools. Just want to thank you. She sits on our PBIS team. So thank you for everything you do. Mrs. Cackley nominated Everett this year, this month. Everett's a sweet student. He loves to challenge himself daily. He works to find creative solutions to find any problem he encounters. He's full of energy and drive. He is an excellent student and is always willing to lead a hand to his classmates, which is awesome. First time ever, when asked what's his favorite subject, he said everything, which is pretty cool. So lives with Mom, Dad, and his brothers, loves to play board games and build Legos. Everett wants to be a scientist and a soccer player one day, and which was pretty cool. We actually had the YSU soccer coach out about a month ago to talk to the kids, so that's pretty neat that he said soccer. Everett likes to read science books, do math problems in his free time, and he loves to play lacrosse and soccer, both at the same time. So Everett, you're Hilltop Student of the Month.
Congratulations to Everett and to the Calder family. That's awesome.
I give a special shout out to them. They're my neighbors, and I see firsthand how awesome their family is and how awesome Everett is. And, you know, every single night they're outside playing, cooking, having cookouts, and they're the life of the neighborhood. So just wanted to give you a special shout out. Congratulations.
Looks like we have a few more on the way.
I think Everett's a lot smarter than his dad, too. I know his dad, so I think that's awesome. Very good. All right, now I think we're going to high school. Is that correct? All right, Dr. Potts.
Good evening and happy Valentine's Day. I'm Mark Potts, principal at Canfield High School. Okay, in a building where several hundred kids could be Student of the Month, Canfield High School is proud to name Cameron Ritz as the Rotary Club Student of the Month for February. Cammie's a senior who's described as a good friend who brings comic relief to her teammates and is liked by peers and teachers for her easygoing personality and her approachability. Cammie's a 2-year letter winner on the girls basketball team, where she's a big contributor to the successful season they're having. She's been playing basketball since she was 3. Actually, Mr. Knowles' report, I think you were in 3 of those pictures out of the 6, weren't you? She's a member of the yearbook staff and serves her community by volunteering for the United Way and Y Teens. Next year, Cammie plans to study business at Youngstown State University and also to get a real estate license. So it is my honor to present Ms. Cameron Ritz as a Canfield High School Student of the Month.
Congratulations, Cammie, and to the Ritz family. Mr. Rubin.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mr. Rubin. I'm the principal at Canfield Middle School, and I am proud to present Juliana Sebastiana, a grade 8 student at the middle school, as our Rotary Student of the Month. We have Mr. Anthony and Michelle Sebastiani here to observe this. I pulled some teachers of past teachers and some present teachers, and I kind of summarized by Juliana figured out the key to middle school success right away. Be kind to everyone, and she has stayed the course all 4 years here. She has blossomed into a well-rounded student athlete who has contributed greatly to our culture here at CVMS. One of my favorite things to do is to call them down to the office and just get some information from them. And for the first time, when they come in my office, they always seem a little bit nervous, and I always say, "Don't worry, you're not in trouble." And Juliana's like, "Oh, I know." So I was so great to see that she knew that, she wasn't in trouble. So, but her favorite subject is science. She enjoys experimenting and finding out reasons why things work. I asked some things about her family. She lives with her mom and dad. They have a dog named Lola, and they have 2 sets of grandparents. Her grandma, Aurora Sebastiana, was a biology professor at YSU. And about a month and a half ago, there was a all-female STEM day at Neo-UConn. And Juliana and about 7 girls went there, and she was telling her mom was very involved with the interview process and things like that. So it was really nice to see everything come full circle there. So it was just they had a really nice day. And Michelle, we appreciate the ride that you gave our girls that day, and the Dunkin' Donuts I heard. So we appreciate it. She wants to be a biomedical engineer. She is currently taking 2 high school level classes, physical science and algebra, and she would love to travel to Italy someday. She's a cheerleader. She's been dancing for 10 years, and she loves to hang out with friends and read. So we're just really proud to have Juliana Sebastiana as our Rotary Student of the Month.
Congratulations, Juliana, and to the Sebastiani family. It's outstanding. And Juliana, yes, I went to YSU and was biology, and your grandma was a legend at YSU. So, all right, Mr. Lavery.
Good evening. My name is Travis Lavery. I'm the principal at C.H. Campbell Elementary School, and I am here to introduce this amazing young lady, Grace Carpenter. As we go through and look at all the different nominations, Grace's name came across, and as soon as I saw it, I knew that it had to be her. She's been an amazing person since the day she walked into our building and has been ever since. As I was reading through her nomination, her teacher wrote that Grace personifies leadership in every sense of the word. She's a marvelous role model to the entire student body, as she is compassionate, empathetic, responsible, trustworthy, respectful, and humble. She thinks of others before herself and is always willing to support her peers on many levels. She truly has a sense of doing the right thing, which is evident in the thoughtful and smart choices she makes on a daily basis. She's able to juggle her academics and extracurriculars with great success. Now, when I was getting some information about Grace, she did say that her favorite subject is math, and she loves playing basketball, softball, as well as dance. And she is here tonight with her family, her mom, her dad, one of her sisters as well, and she also has another sister in addition. And one day I asked her what she would like to do at some point, and she said one day she'd like to travel to Africa for a month with her family and also travel around the whole world with them. So very, very excited to have her nominated as well as chosen for our Rotary Student of the Month. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Grace, and to the Carpenter family. Job well done. Congratulations to all of our Rotary students. I know it is Valentine's Day, so I will give you guys the opportunity to exit stage left if you'd like, and maybe talk your family into taking you out to dinner tonight. So congratulations again. You're more than welcome to stay if you'd like to see the riveting program that we have after this. But otherwise, thank you for being here. All right, I think next up we have presentation of the minutes from our January 10th meeting as well as our special meeting on the 31st. So we got those in advance, and if I can have a motion to approve.
So moved. Campbell.
Second, Demila.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. All right, next up I think we have the treasurer's reports.
We have a couple of months that I put in the drive for you to look at. Did want to make a few points of interest. The cash summary report, if you'll notice, the general fund and the food service fund for both these months have ending cash balances, ending fund balances that were greater than what we started the year with. So that's good from a budget standpoint. Also wanted to point out our biweekly payrolls are now in excess of $700,000. You'll see those as separate line items on the disbursement report. Also, we did purchase 2 new buses to the tune of $212,000. So buses are now over $100,000 each.
Man, you stole my thunder, Miss Prince. I was going to say something to that. Wondering, yes, what the heck was that? And that was it. Thank you.
Yeah. And then just to comment on the investment report, as the CDs are maturing, just leaving the money in the money market account because those rates are higher than the CD rates, and it was 5.71%
Wow.
on the last investment report that's presented to you. Dave, I have any questions on any of the reports?
No, just nice to see the interest rates.
Do
at that.
need
Yeah.
a motion to approve them, please?
Can I get a motion to?
So moved. Campbell.
Second, Alquist.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. Okay, next up, public comments. Do we have anything? Mr. Henry, you're up.
Jason Henry. I live on Montgomery Court here in Canfield. I wanted to follow up on your comments regarding new buildings and the levy. I wanted to let the board know that the people from the levy committee understand the impossible circumstance that Canfield has put you in. They've elected you to do what's best for the school district and then told you you can't do it. And I think that the dichotomy there becomes a problem when the board is being asked to do something that they don't necessarily believe in. Not speaking for any of you, but that to say that we need to do all of these things, but not approve the funds to do them. To that end, I think that I would recommend to the board that we look to put together or engage someone for some focus, some study groups coming into the levy season to determine what the actual reasons for the failure, or to come up with what that number is, to ask people in the community rather than, well, we heard that it was this or that, what the reasons were. Without exit polls, we really don't know what the reasons were. We know that it was expensive, we know that building locations, all of these factors come into it, but without knowing what the number is that the community would support. I'd hate to see us approve a middle school for $50 million when 70 could have done it, when we could have done, another $10 million in improvements to other areas. So I would encourage that as a first step in moving forward. My last point would simply be, from having been involved with only the most recent one, I don't go back 2 years, just the 1 year, is that the timeline becomes increasingly short. It's February, to look at November, 9 months away, oh my goodness. However, with the timeline that Mr. Knoll gave tonight, that's 3 meetings. You'll have 3 school board meetings before you have to come up with your first take to the county for the levy. And I can tell you that's not enough. So to start right away, whether it's engaging with the people that worked on the levy last time, or however you're going to approach it, it needs to happen. It needs to happen now, and we're here to help. Let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Appreciate your comments.
Thank you very much.
I will make one more comment in regards to public comments. For those of you that follow our school board meetings, there is a staple that's missing this evening, and I just want to, without being very detailed, just Mr. Makia had an unfortunate injury and is battling a challenging time right now. So our thoughts and prayers are with him and his family, and just we definitely miss you.
And Frank, if you're watching, if you're streaming us right now, we miss you down front. So our prayers are with you and your family.
All right, next up, new business.
All right, well said. Okay, so under personnel, we have some resignations. So Donald Crum, CHS Education Technology Teacher, effective June 1 of 2024, and Exhibit 1A, and Morgan Urbania, our high school English teacher, effective June 1 of 2024, Exhibit 1B. Under transfer and reassignment, we have Cassandra Beckish from intervention tutor to long-term permanent substitute intervention specialist, approximately on April 18th of 2024 at 222.543 per day. Under parental leave, we have Nicolina Baker, intervention specialist at middle school for unpaid parental leave following use of 6 weeks of sick leave, beginning on approximately April 19th of 2024, and returning on May 31st of 2024. That was exhibit number 2. And some classified subs, we have Mary Rachel Moyer, effective January 18th of 2024, found exhibit number 3A. Carl Kramer Jr., exhibit number 3B, and Stefan Silik, exhibit number 3C. And then finally, recommend the hiring of our extracurriculars under Resolution 88-2024 through 89-2024, those found in exhibit number 4.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the personnel hirings, resignations, reassignments, and leaves as outlined in those just articulated by Superintendent Knoll?
So moved, Demila.
Second, DeCapua?
Any discussion? I will just make one comment in regards to one of our hiring of extracurriculars, just because I caught it and know I have a background in the soccer program. So I see that Mr. Simone is being hired as our boys soccer coach, and I wish him luck. For those of you that don't know, that he's also currently our girls soccer coach, and historically I think he stepped away from it for about 4 years or 5 years, and maybe that's been enough time to forget how much that balance is to get both. So I wish him luck. He definitely has the experience in the programs and to be able to lead both with continued success.
We didn't
So-
remind him of those years, so.
No,
we
that's
didn't bring
probably,
that up.
that's probably a good
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
So I wish him luck in coaching the boys and girls in the upcoming season. Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend adopting the 2024-25 school calendar in Exhibit Number 5.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to adopt the 2024-2025 school calendar as presented in Exhibit 5?
So moved, Campbell.
Second. Sorry.
Second, second from Dr. Alquist. Any discussion? I will make a comment on the calendar because I know we've got some feedback in regards to the school calendar. As much as the date for 2024 looks like it's early with August 19th, I want to be clear that it's historically followed our pattern that we've done the past 3-4 years, right? Which is now 7 days into school before we hit our fair break.
Yes.
But it's just the way the calendar shifted and Labor Day is early. I don't know necessarily if there's ever an opportune time to start school, especially with the weather conditions and being able to predict weather. So I know that, you know, our real focus is we have to do something with our elementary school buildings that don't have, like CH, that doesn't have air conditioning. So we've got to make that a priority to try to figure that out. So we're not neglecting that, but I also think, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Knoll, this calendar creation is a collaborative effort with our teachers,
Yes.
our staff, our administrators,
100%.
so it's not driven strictly by one individual.
That's correct, yep.
Fair enough. All right. Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
I recommend adopting resolution number 90-2024 for membership in the OHSAA for the 24-25 school year.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to adopt resolution 90-2024 for membership in the OHSAA for 2024-25?
So moved, Demila. Sorry.
Second, DeCapua? Here we go.
All right, we'll go Milo and DeCapua. Any discussion?
Did the fees go down this year?
Nothing is going down.
No, that was a rhetorical question,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That was a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be fun if they stayed flat, but I don't even know if
Yeah,
that's the
that's
case, right? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
I'd like to recommend approving our foreign exchange student for our second semester here at the high school, Samaya Peter from Switzerland.
Oh. Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve our foreign exchange student? For Samia?
So moved, Campbell.
Second, Demila.
Any discussion?
That's awesome.
Yes, welcome.
Awesome. Well,
So, is Samia here now?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Well, thank you, and thank you to the host family.
Mm-hmm. It's one of our teachers, Ms. Weingart.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Mhm.
All right. Well, hopefully they enjoy the experience. Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
And believe it or not, it's time to approve request for summer school in exhibit number 6. So our elementaries on June the 10th through the 20th, and the middle school June 3rd to the 28th, and here at the high school as well, June 3rd to the 28th. Those are all in exhibit number 6.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the request for summer school as presented in Exhibit 6?
So moved, Alquist.
Campbell, second.
Any discussion?
These are enrichment programs, right? That we don't have, or are they,
The high school
Yeah.
could be credit recovery.
Credit recovery,
If,
okay.
if necessary, yes.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Capua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
And I'd like to recommend approving some out-of-state or overnight field trip requests. The high school baseball team traveling to Myrtle Beach, March 30th through April 6th, to participate in the Mingo Bay Classic Tournament, providing transportation and lodging covered by an outside organization. And our C.H. Campbell first graders heading to Keystone Safari in Grove City, PA on May 24th for a field trip for an outdoor education experience. The high school varsity wrestling team traveling to Canal Fulton to participate in a sectional tournament February 23rd to the 24th. And our JV and varsity volleyball teams heading to Cedar Point July 14th through the 16th, to participate in a tournament and team bonding, provide transportation and lodging are covered by an outside organization. Those are all found in exhibit number 7.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve our out-of-state overnight field trip requests as presented in Exhibit 7?
So moved, DeMilo.
Second, Capua?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Capua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. All right, next we've got donations. Want me to read them? I have them,
I can,
what do we have? The Canfield Rotary Association, $1,000 to the CVMS Playground Beautification Project. Mr. Mark Davis, $200 to the Kate Farragher Memorial Trust Fund for the Arts. Sam Boak, $180 to the Interact Club. Francis and Marcia Tarosi, $589 to the Washington DC trip. The Anthony J. Fox Family Foundation, $5,000 to the CVMS Playground Beautification Project. Rebecca Heikkinen, $500 to the CVMS Playground Beautification Project. Carrie and Jared Wires, $200 to the Playground Beautification Project. Freed Land Company LLC, $500 to the Playground Beautification Project. Rob Sen Studios, $1,153 to Hilltops Principals Fund. Rob Sen Studios, $1,174 to the C.H. Campbell Principals Fund. And Rob Sen Studios, $1,691 to CVMS's Principals Fund. And then Rob Sen Studios, C.H. Campbell 4th grade group shot. So total donations in cash was $12,187. Thank you to all those that donated. Can I have a motion to accept?
so moved. Capua?
Second, Alquist.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. Capua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. Anything else? All right, can I have a motion to adjourn on this Valentine's Day?
So moved. Capua?
I'll second. Roll call.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Any opposed? Yeah, thanks. All right, good night. Happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy your dinners wherever you may be going, even if it's just